Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chopper Flops. Today we're going to be reviewing Spider-Man vs. the Wishmaster. Oh, wait, sorry. Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I dabble a little bit in comics. I'm I'm a bit of a fan of DC, and I like Wonder Woman. I very much enjoyed the movie. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Wonder Woman fan. I haven't read most of the comics, so I'm not exactly an expert. I don't know a whole lot. But one thing I do know is I'm about to piss off a lot of people. So if you don't know, Wonder Woman was scheduled to be released in the summer of 2020, but for obvious reasons, got pushed way the hell back, and finally got released on Christmas to theaters and streaming everywhere on HBO Max. Now, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I suggest you go see it now before watching this video because I'm going to spoil the absolute living fuck out of it. So, get the fuck out of here if you haven't seen it. Go see the movie. It's actually pretty good. I'm going to be shitting on it a lot in this video, but if you turn your brain off when you go into it, you might enjoy it. But without further ado, let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of Wonder Woman 1984. Okay, I want to go ahead and start with the good because this movie does have a lot of it. The concept is great. For one, I absolutely love the color palette in this one. They took the grays and the dull tones from the first Wonder Woman and just cranked it up to 11. It's almost as if someone fell asleep at the keyboard and accidentally cranked the saturation way the hell up, which is a good thing. The suit, the lasso, almost everything looks like it's pulled straight out of a comic book. I love how bright everything is. I love how the lasso glows whenever Wonder Woman uses it. There's a ton of great things about it. Then there's the cinematography. I cannot count the amount of amazing shots in this movie. There are so many parts like the truck flip or the flight scene or the fireworks scene that are just beautifully shot, beautifully composed, just epic shots that really make you feel something. And that's what I feel a good cinematographer should do, which this movie does achieve. Now, some of those best shots, and especially the flying one, I have a couple of problems with, but I'll get to that later. Another undeniable pro that I have to give this movie credit for is it gets so weird. And I am so happy about that. I've been waiting for comic book movies to get crazy and weird for so long. It kind of started with Shazam and Aquaman. I can't remember off the top of my head which one came first, but those kind of started with the crazy vibrant colors and the crazy costumes that looked like they were straight ripped out of the comics. This one went straight up balls to the wall. They added all the crazy abilities that the lasso can do. They brought in the invisible jet. I love how they incorporated the invisible jet and gave her the crazy power to make it invisible. I'm not sure if that's how it was in the comics, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool take on it. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I love the fact that there's a straight up person who just kind of grants wishes because he became the embodiment of a stone. It's so weird and crazy and just out there, and that's what a comic book should be. I'm so glad that directors and writers in Hollywood are finally starting to realize that. The only issue is it creates some plot holes down the line, but we'll get to that later. And speaking of getting weird and not being afraid to do crazy stuff, Cheetah, she's in the movie. She looks amazing. I love the design for her. They did so good with her final form, and she actually looks like Cheetah out of the comics. It was so convincing. Kristen Wiig did a great job. Hats off to her. She definitely did much better than I had expected. Now, when it comes to how long we actually saw her in her Cheetah form, again, we'll come back to that. And again, this is another major spoiler warning, so this is your last one. If you haven't watched the movie, get the fuck out of here, man. Come back, but get the fuck out of here. Linda Carter is in the post-credit scene. How freaking cool is that? I mean, I loved her cameo too. I loved the role that they gave her. I can't remember the name, but man, that was so cool. That actually kind of, choked me up a little bit. I was like, oh, that's so awesome, they brought her back. So that undeniably was great. So again, there is a lot of good to this movie. But I think it's time we start talking about the bad. Pedro, come on, man, you're my boy. You're Mando. What happened? Okay, I gotta give it to him. From when he embodies the stone to when he's giving the White House address and taking wishes from everybody else. Dude, he does a great job. He does a great job. The role is goofy, but he took it and he ran with it. It's just everything before the stone and after he stepped into that weird blue light. I can't help but get real fucking Jim Carrey Riddler vibes. And then, speaking of when he's in that blue light, Wonder Woman's sitting there swinging her lasso with all her might and can't seem to get it anywhere near him. And then all of a sudden she sits down and gives him a touching speech. And it just kind of snakes its way over to him on his foot. All I can imagine, I just couldn't help but giggle. Because all I can imagine is that little thing kind of snaking its way across the ground the whole time she's trying to give this amazing touching speech. And speaking of that touching speech, so she knocks the camera over at the beginning. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry I can't use any camera footage. I don't want to get my video and channel straight taken the fuck down by Warner Brothers. But she knocks the camera down, and then it's pointed, logically it would be pointed towards a wall. But yet, when her lasso attaches to the dude's leg, everybody just sees a warm, piss-colored glow on every TV in the fucking world. And so, is my guy Pedro a fucking camera now? And coming back to the weirdness and the flight scene. So I like the fact that the movie gets weird and gives her new powers and kind of goes crazy. Because like I said, that's what comic books should be. There's only one issue with that though. This movie is in a universe where there are 2 movies that are set afterwards, where she doesn't have those powers. If you introduce the fact that she can fly and whip things around like a bullet with her lasso, then that completely defeats the purpose of Superman sacrificing his life in Batman v Superman. And it makes her seem completely fucking nerfed in Justice League. And speaking of things that are missing from future movies and aren't mentioned, Cheetah. What happens to her? She doesn't die, but she's not Cheetah anymore. Me and my girlfriend both couldn't help but feel like she was completely wasted as a character. And even if they bring her back and when they do, they better make her like the forefront of a Legion of Doom movie or something, because she's a good character. But even if she does, I mean, she only got maybe like 5 minutes of screen time in her final form, and we saw most of that in a trailer. What's the point of even watching the movie then? DC's had a horrible track record of doing that for years. I was hoping they learned. I guess I was wrong. And speaking of villains that weren't used or brought back, where was Ares? Why was there no mention of Ares in a later post-credit scene? Because if you have seen the movie, you know there's only one post-credit scene, and that's not even a post-credit scene, it's a mid-credit scene, and that's the one with Linda Carter. And it's great, don't get me wrong, but to not have Ares show up or wake up, or something, make him, resurrected by the fact that there's tons of wars and nukes going off. I mean, I know that it's like, renounced, we'll get to that later, but regardless, it's nukes. The threat of nuclear war, that wouldn't bring Ares back from wherever the fuck he's at, whatever the fuck happened to him. I guarantee you he's not fucking dead. But that's neither here nor there. What is is the fact that with all these wars and the nukes and everything else, the world just doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. But even if the whole deal of the stone is, oh, you give something and you get something, that doesn't make a fucking difference, because with all those guards in the Saudi Arabia scene, when they saw the wall come up out of fucking nowhere, they didn't actually see it. They just heard the dude say, oh, well, I'm taking your guards. And they're like, well, okay. All of this could have been solved by saying that the rock has some sort of, hypnotism abilities or something like that, or gives the user hypnotism abilities or something like that. But it mentioned nothing of that. It never said a single time that it hypnotizes people or anything like that. It just says it grants wishes. So why is it that someone else's wish influences 11 other fucking people to follow this dude? It makes no fucking sense. I'm sorry. But half the stuff that was granted through the wishes just wouldn't have worked that way. Or, would have worked that way because the wishes were magic, but what he wanted in return just flat out wouldn't have. Because whoever he was getting in return of it didn't have the power to influence their free will. Hey guys, Editor Choppy here. And I just want to go ahead and add that at the end, when everybody's riding through the streets, it really wouldn't have made any sense for everyone to instantly start rioting and going crazy and looting, considering even the presidents had just found out what was going on. Like, I know media and word spreads fast and people get crazy very quickly, but I mean, even in like reality with how crazy the world is right now currently, that would not happen. That's just not how the world, that's not how government discretion works. That's not how fucking reactions work. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Alright, back to Past Choppy. And speaking of people and their free will, ooh boy, Steve Trevor. First and foremost, he was fully wasted as a character. What the hell is the point in bringing a character back from the dead just to kill him and make him basically say the same exact shit and sacrifice himself in the same exact fucking way, talking about, oh, I need to fucking go, but you can save the world. In the same movie. What's the point? Completely wasted character. And there's a lot more to say about him, but that's a little more on the ugly side.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
The Steve Trevor possession. What the fuck, guys? How in the world are you gonna, in a, I mean, not children's movie, but I mean, a lot of kids are gonna go see this. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me looking too deep into it, but it's kind of fucked up. They effectively killed a dude, or like put him in a coma at least, for, I don't know, like 3 days? And he just has no fucking recollection of what happened. And then at the end, they just act like it's all good. What the fuck? That's not okay. And she slept with him. Like, there's so many other things they could have done. There's so many ways that they could have brought him back. And right off the top of my head, they could have had him say, oh, I woke up and someone was carrying me from a green lake. And then they saved me from this group of ninjas. References a Lazarus pit. Boom. That even brings in a thing. It's an Easter egg for all the Easter egg hunters and crazy ass fanboys like me. You don't really have to explain the how and why of him getting away from them and all that, because, and him not being crazy, because the stone, it's magic, it grants the wishes, like that would make sense within the rules they're setting up in the universe. And that brings me to another point, is the rules in this universe are just fucking completely made up, like, as the movie goes along. And, like, it has no sensibility. And, you know, I mean, I guess that would be okay if it was a movie contained in its own universe, but it's a movie that's a part of such a grander universe that already has movies that are set after and before. You can't fuck with a universe's rules that are already established all throughout. It just doesn't really work. But one thing it does work to do is create one of the most anticlimactic, most boring, Deus Ex Machina, bullshit endings or resolutions I have ever seen, at least in a long time anyway. Everybody just says, oh, never mind. Oops, yeah, I take it back. I don't want the wish. What's the fucking point then? Where are the stakes? Who cares? If everybody's just able to say, well, you know, fucking, I'd rather not anymore. Like, what? Why? Why even have the whole rest of the movie beforehand? What did I even just sit through for? It just completely defeats the purpose. That's all I'm saying. Oh, and it just comes out of fucking nowhere. She's just kind of like, oh, I renounce my wish. Oh, you can do that now? Because last I saw it, the rules it was setting up, it seemed like it was saying that once you make a wish, you're kind of screwed. You can't make another one or take it back. But now, because they need a way to fucking save the world and take everything back, yeah, you can just say, nah, I don't want it anymore. What? And also, speaking of the renouncing scene, when she figures out that you can renounce it, what the fuck was with Steve Trevor's exit? What the hell was that even? Like, he just kind of, bye, I'll remember you forever. Well, she's just walking off. I renounce my wish. Bitch, what? No, what kind of exit of a character is that? It's because you put his fucking face on some random fucking dude's body and possessed him for some weird fucking reason. And so now you don't have a way to transition from that face to the other guy's face and body without explaining it in some fucked off way that's not possession and scarring some children. Whoops. Looks like you shot yourself in the foot. And I do have to say, one good thing about the ending is Pedro Pascal does kind of fucking bring it back home when he has the interaction with his son. And, you know, he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, that whole scene, super touching, you know, brought a tear to my eye, definitely choked me. It was good, you know, but like the rest of the ending just made so little fucking sense. And the sense that it did make was just such a cop-out. But anyway, so getting to the last part, the fucking host of Steve Trevor comes back, and like, it's the weirdest shit because she just sits there and is like, oh, you know, she flirts with him. It's so creepy because it's like if you date someone, gave them a roofie, slept with them, had a whole like 2 days with them where you kept slipping them shit so they wouldn't remember, and then fucking they came back and you acted like you never fucking met them before and you were just meeting them for the first time. Like, is it just me or is that not totally fucking crazy? And then to top all of it off, whenever he leaves and kind of walks off, she does a whole ooh and fucking looks him up and down like, oh, he'll do. What? That's not okay, man. A couple of honorable mentions of kind of ugly shit that I found in the movie is there's a scene where she like is swinging from her lasso and slips from it. And I thought it was going to go into like a whole like, oh, we got to fucking get her lasso back, you know, oh shit, you know. And then she gets up and it's just like there on her hip already. Like it just clipped back to her hip like a fucking video game. Okay. And also, I'll see if I can throw a picture up. There was this one real chesty dude just fucking chilling, guarding this shit. Straight up looked like that one Captain America picture where he looks like a fucking gorilla. So, That was pretty funny. In conclusion, the movie's not the worst. It could have been a lot better. It definitely had the potential and kind of shit the bed. But, I mean, if you turn your brain off and you just kind of, enjoy it, I mean, it can be a fun ride. I'm not going to completely shit on anybody's fun and say, oh, it fucking sucks. And just keep in mind that this is my opinion. If you really like the movie, that's fucking awesome. Dude, fucking enjoy it. Dude, watch it 20, 30 fucking times if you want. Badass, man. More power to you. I just personally had a lot of issues with it. Just want to go ahead and get it out there. And like I said, right now, it's actually in theaters and streaming on HBO Max right now. And if you have an HBO Max membership, you don't even have to pay extra for it. It comes with the subscription. So I strongly suggest that even if you're watching this and you're thinking, that sounds like a dumbass movie, at least go watch it. Check it out. Support the director. Support the writers. They all tried very hard. And there is, like I said, there is a lot of good in the movie. There's a lot to enjoy and a lot to love. It has a lot of charm. I laughed. I cried a little bit. And isn't that what a movie's supposed to do anyway? So, guys, this was my somewhat quick review of Wonder Woman 1984. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really appreciate y'all watching. If you did, make sure you leave a like and share and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're notified of all of my upcoming content and every video that I come out with. Go ahead and make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what other movies you want to see me review. I really like this format, and movies are totally my thing. I'm a major cinephile, so I like to pick shit apart more than most people. So I'm definitely down to do more of these. I hope all of you guys have a safe and happy holidays, and you guys have a spectacular day. This whole movie, all of the fucking Wonder Woman stunts really felt like it was trying to be fucking Spider-Man.